Continuous professional development, which we call the teacher training, is very important for early childhood educators because we shape the young minds. And so we need to be abreast with the latest that is happening in the domain of early childhood education. Let us look at some points why a continuous professional development in terms of teacher training, in terms of visiting schools, in terms of talking with other educators is important, and how this helps in enhancing the way we impart the early childhood education curriculum. First and foremost is staying current with best practices. When we started our journey as early childhood educators, we were practicing the rote learning process. At that time, preschools were mostly doing the reading and writing, and they were not really into activities and the experiential learning process. Eventually, as time passed, we got to know about STEM education, then came STEAM, and now we have the STREAM. Everything is evolving. There's a paradigm shift in how education is being imparted to children in the early childhood years. At one time, the playway method was not so popular, but now you can see that every preschool adopts the playway method, the method of experiential learning, how children get involved when they are learning, how they can actually bring up new questions for the educators to ponder and to talk to them about. So these current trends or the best practices of early childhood education needs to be honed, and for that continuous professional development needs to happen. We need to change because every 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, things are changing. Everything is evolving, and here the teachers need to be updated. Continuous professional development also helps the teachers to upgrade their teaching skills. Remember how we used to learn addition? It was 1 plus 1 written on the board. And now we do it in a completely different way. We do it in a playful way. We get some crayons, we get some chalks, we use those to teach the concept of addition or to teach the concept of subtraction. Similarly, while introducing different topics, because every child has different way of grasping, we talk about the VAC, the visual, the audio, the kinesthetic. So there are different children in the classroom, and in order to make them learn, we need to adapt to different teaching practices. Also, addressing emerging issues. Now we have inclusivity in our classrooms. There are many children who are special, they have some special needs, and they are a part of our classrooms. And educators who are not equipped to deal with them will find it difficult. I have seen last year when my educators told me that, ma'am, we need a kind of training to deal with children who have special needs. I could understand that, yes, again, this is a time for them to take another training, to again understand the best of how we can deal with children who are different. So in a way, there are a lot of things that need to be learned while we are teaching. So learning is never going to stop. We always need to learn new and new things, and at the same time we need to implement those in the classroom. And for this reason, teacher training is really, really important, and it needs to keep happening from time to time. It should not be a 1 year, 2 years gap, but it should be within 6, 7, 8 months, so that anything new that comes up, our teachers are abreast. When the pandemic set in, the preschools were closed. In fact, all the schools were closed, but the preschools suffered the most. Why? Because we depend on one-on-one communication with our children. At that time, we also realized that keeping the schools closed for just such a long time would affect the learning of the students, because for a child, every day is new learning. So we decided to go online. And here we needed the support of our educators and of the parents, because children in the early childhood years cannot deal with the internet. They are not able to go online on a platform on their own. So we needed the cooperation of both our educators and the parents. At that time, the educators who were not willing to adapt to the change came up with a lot of excuses like, we will not be able to deliver online classes, it is almost an impossibility. But we tried to train them to do it, and eventually we saw that in next 1 or 2 months, the children started forming a bond with the teacher online. And that is how the learning continued for the rest of the months. At that time, I also saw that many educators lost their job because they were not able to upgrade themselves and they were not able to adapt themselves to the changes that was, important at that time. And they were not ready to accept those changes and to learn. And as a result, they lost their relevance. And once they lost their relevance, they were no more required in that job. So a lot of teachers dropped out from the job and they were not really, doing anything at that point. And I feel that they were lost. So I would say for educators, you need to keep an open mindset to learning. You need to be more open to learning technology, to learning new things, because see, this is the age where the digital has taken over, and we need to be accepting these new changes that have come about, and to learn we need to keep continuously upgrading ourselves, otherwise we are going to lose relevance. So let me tell you about IMTA, the International Montessori Teacher Training Academy, that provides 1 month, 3 months, 6 months and 1 year courses for early childhood educators or aspiring educators that covers all aspects of early childhood development. And these courses are both available online and offline. To get in touch with IMTA, you can read in the description the link which is given, and you can pursue a teacher training course both offline or online with IMTA, and that would equip you to become a very good early childhood educator who is well versed with the latest that is happening in the domain. So coming back to the topic, supporting diverse learning needs. Different children have different learning needs, and teachers need to know that, identify that, and be able to deal with it. She needs to be very creative in implementing the curriculum. She needs to be a friend to the child, and that is how she can maximize learning in the classroom. And for that, the teacher needs to know the new things that is happening, the new in the field. CPD helps in fostering reflective practices. So teachers need to reflect on their educational practices, because we have to look at the learning outcomes. If the way I am teaching is not benefiting children, then what is the point? So we need to understand that, and we need to be able to assess that and make changes. And here is where continuous professional development comes into action. The teachers are trained to recognize what is best for the students, what suits their needs. And last but not the least, it enhances collaboration and networking. When you are doing a training with many other teachers coming from different schools, coming from different backgrounds, it is getting to know them, getting to know their practices, their best practices, and that helps in brainstorming, in analyzing, in picking up the best from the lot. And this networking and this collaboration helps in enhancing our knowledge, it helps in strengthening our skills, and it would help in us in becoming a proficient early childhood educator. So never give up on training. Always look forward to training. At times I have seen early childhood educators who are reluctant to take a training because they feel that they know it all. But believe me, honestly speaking, there's a lot to know, and there's a lot that we need to learn in the coming months and in the coming years. So always stay open to learning, be open to learning, and that is how you will be able to bring the best into your early childhood classroom. Stay tuned to the Mockingbird Show and keep joining me for more and more interesting topics. And Let us all be a part of an empowering educators group who makes a difference. In next 20 years, you will see that your students today who are toddlers will come to you and thank you for the beautiful things you have done in the class, the magic that you created for these children, and you will see that your efforts are rewarded.